Good morning, guys. This is Rusty 78609, June the 6th, 2017, Thursday a.m. about, I don't know, let me look, 7:19 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm just outside of Mason, Texas, headed towards Junction, Texas. And the adventure, again, is always is continuing. The temperature right now is 70 degrees, which is nice. And where am I headed? Right now I'm headed for Guadalupe Mountains. You know, the weather forecast there, it depends on who you believe. It's either going to be in the upper 70s or the low 90s. Depending on whose weather forecast you believe. It doesn't matter. We'll be all right. I'll be fine. Someone mentioned in the comments, I checked them this morning, and someone mentioned the fact that there's a heat wave. Yeah, there's a heat wave all over the northwestern or western USA, I guess. Well, it's called summertime, actually. I mean, it's not a heat wave, it's just summer. But be that as it may, there are some warm temperatures in a lot of places, but if you get up in the elevations in any of those areas, you'll be fine, in my opinion, because anything around the Rocky Mountain area is going to be all right. But anyway, so I'm just driving. I got to take a left here to go to Junction, Texas. One thing good about having made this trip several times is I know my way, the back way. On the little roads, I don't have to go out I-10 all the way, but a lot of it. Here we go, guys. Y'all turning with me? So the adventure is on. I got everything. Here's what I wanted to mention this morning is for those of you that camp, and I'm sure that a lot of you do, obviously, or some of you, have a checklist. Believe me, a checklist is important. I had a checklist when I was pulling my travel trailer, you know, so I didn't forget to do certain things. And I had a checklist with my Prius, because there was it's hard to hold this thing steady on this road. But anyway, but yeah, a checklist is very important, particularly on whenever you're going camping in a Prius or a pickup, because you got to get everything packed. If you forget anything, well, you can always buy it somewhere. That's not a big problem. But rather than do that, if you have a checklist, you just won't forget it. And as far as using your phone, you know, the Google Maps, wherever you go when you're traveling, well, that's great if you have a signal from the carrier you're with. If you don't, you're in deep poo-poo, because out here, Verizon has zero coverage right here. From Mason, well, actually just north of Llano, Texas, all the way almost to Junction, Texas, Verizon has zero coverage. AT&T has spotty coverage, and so it's just a tough area for cell phone. And if you were using GPS and Google Maps to direct you, you would miss some turns because they just wouldn't be there to tell you. But it's a nice day, 70 degrees, cloudy. I like cloudy days. I like to travel on days where it's overcast or cloudy, because if it's perfectly clear, even though it's pretty, the brightness of the sunlight can just wear you out. But this is just hill country in here, a lot of granite boulders and rocks and stuff. It's pretty. I mean, it's a pretty part of Central Texas. This is a lot of deer hunting in here, and starting in November through January, first part of January. Believe me, these deer leases up here can be very expensive. But what is the purpose of the trip? The purpose of the trip is just to get into cooler a cooler weather for a few weeks or maybe a couple of months. We'll see. If it's crowded and it's too hot, well, I'll just motel it right back home and climb in my little RV and come up with another plan. A lot of cattle out here, a lot of ranching, which is typical around the area I live. This is about 80 miles from my home base. I'm about 80 miles into the trip. I left pretty earlier than I thought. I left about a full hour earlier than I planned to. I just couldn't sleep. I was anxious to go. But the White House is completely ready, as far as I can tell. We'll put it through the paces this evening and see how it works out. And then we're going to head up to, my direction is to head on up to the Taos area. You know, the Taos, Angel Fire, Red River, Eagle's Nest, they're all up in the elevations over 7,000 feet. The downside of that area this time of the year is that's where everybody goes, and to find a campsite sometimes can be a little difficult because all the reserve sites are reserved, that's for sure. There are a few that are not reservable, they're just first come, first served, and sometimes you get lucky on those and sometimes you don't. There's a good place to go, and I've mentioned it several times, called Wild Rivers. It's a Bureau of Land Management campground north of, or actually it's almost west of Cuesta, New Mexico, north of Taos. Elevation about 7,500 feet. Good climate, but a beautiful place. It really is. It's got, you know, they got water. They don't have any electric, but they do have water, and they've got those old vault toilets. But it's usually not very crowded. They've got 3 campgrounds, several campsites, but the biggest downside there is the no-see-ums, and they're there now. I called, and the lady at the visitor center said, yeah, they were there, but they weren't too bad because they'd had some rain, and apparently they don't like the rain. And then if that doesn't work out too good, I may continue on north, go up through Colorado, and then turn west toward northern Idaho. Maybe, we'll see. A lot of driving, but I'm going to try to stay longer. Well, not the first 2 nights on this trip, I'm planning on just staying one night so I can move on to the cooler climate, because it really won't be comfortably cool until I get to the Taos area and north. And I understand they've got some wildfires, of course. That happens every summer. That's not new. I go through that every summer. I've been smoked out of Gila Cliff Dwellings near Silver City. I was there one time as a volunteer, and they had a forest fire they moved us out so the firefighters could stay in the dorm that I was staying in, but the smoke was so bad that I was leaving anyway. I mean, it was really bad. But having said all that, guys, yeah, it is a nice day for traveling, I will say that. And I enjoy it, I really do. I mean, it gives me something to do. I looked at my options. You know, I could sit at home and watch YouTube videos or Netflix or whatever, or I could get off my butt and just go somewhere. You know, there's no reason not to go. I mean, I can't think of any reason not to go. You know, even if my health wasn't that good, I'd probably give it a try. Why? Because it's just the way I am, I guess. But on the road again, averaging 24.9 miles per gallon, 67 miles per hour. Speed limit on this road is 70. We actually go through a little town up here called London. For you people across the pond, Wanda. Yeah, right up here about, I'll probably won't have the video on when we get there, but it's just a few more miles up here. It's called London, Texas. Little bitty town, probably maybe 100 people, and probably none of them are from London. At one time somebody was here from London. That's where it got its name. These old ranchers and farmers out here, you know, they don't make enough to pay the tax on their land hardly. But it's a way of life they can't get away from, and I can understand that. I grew up on a farm in Central Texas, U.S., or South Texas, and I'm the first generation off the farm. I'm not too sure how much farther London is. We'll give it a shot here. We'll go a few minutes. If I'd have thought of it, I could have started the video a little later and would have been sure to see London, Texas. But that's the only little town you cross through before you get to Junction. It's a 2-lane highway all the way to Junction, then you get on Interstate 10, and it's a racetrack all the way to Van Horn, Texas. Then you turn right on a little highway that's 2-lane. It seems like it goes on forever, but it's only 60 miles to Guadalupe Mountains National Park. But since it's so desolate, it seems like it takes forever. Okay, we're into Menard County now. This little stop, and it's not even a stop in the road, it's called Erna. But it's not even a community. Maybe we'll make it to London. We'll see. I'll let it run a few more minutes. I'll let it run because I want to show you people across the pond that you're lost. London is right here. This is where London is, don't you know? I told myself when I went to bed last night I was not going to get up early. I was going to leave at 7 o'clock and that's it. Get a good night's sleep. I woke up at 4:30 and couldn't go back to sleep. But I got everything in. I got my refrigerator in the front floorboard, my CF18 Dometic refrigerator, 12-volt compressor refrigerator. Got it plugged into my cigarette lighter. And the temperature inside, I checked earlier, was 38 degrees, which is perfect-amundo. And I got me some Rabbits organic little bars. I put them in the front seat. I've got my lunch ready. Of course, what I do when I'm traveling like this is I have my breakfast for lunch. So for lunch, I'll have cereal with blueberries and what else? What is it? I can't remember the name of it. It's a fruit, but I can't remember. And then I got me some dark chocolate almonds. No green tea though, I didn't make any tea. For those of you that like these driving videos of Texas and other areas, I'll run this for a while. Those trees you see on both sides of the road are mesquite. They are primarily a desert tree. They have a long tap root and they can live in desert climates. This is not that dry a climate here. They probably get about 20 inches of rain here a year, maybe a little more, not much. This is really pretty country out here. Nobody, it's very lightly populated, rolling hills, and off to my left I'll show you. You see those round bales out there? That's hay, and they roll them in round bales, and they're wrapped with a very thin plastic wrap which keeps the moisture off of them, and that way those round bales will last for a long, long time. When I grew up, they didn't use the round bales. We had the old square bales, and they weighed anywhere from 60 to 85 pounds each, and you had to stack them. And they had wire. You'd grab those wire straps and lift them up and put them on the back of a pickup or a trailer, and then go stack them in a barn. And that's what you call work, I'm telling you. But that's how I made money in the summer when I was growing up. We got a nickel a bale, and you know, you could haul, I don't know, we could haul 1,000 bales a day. But it was divided up among the whole crew. And there were usually, you had to have 2 stackers and two lifters, and you'd swap out. Now they've got those machines that lift the bales up, and you just stack them in the back of the truck. Then you got a conveyor that stacks them in the barn. Straight ahead is London, Texas, so I'll let it go till we get through London, Texas. Well, stacking hay in a barn was, I don't know how we lived through it. Inside those barns at the top where we were stacking, it sometimes had to be 120 degrees. There's the sign that says London straight ahead. See how far I've driven? You didn't think I could drive the White House across the Atlantic Ocean, but I can. You really gotta keep the wheels turning on, or else it'll sink. London, 1 mile. So all you people across the pond, oh, rabbit, go, rabbit. Almost made one of those lifetime mistakes. I don't like to run over animals, but I won't kill myself trying to avoid them either. This is London, Texas. I think the population of this town can't be much more than maybe, if it's 200, I'd be surprised. Used to have an old dance hall here years ago. People come from miles around to go dancing in London, Texas. Gasoline is $2.29.9, and over here on the left is the London Grocery and Grill right there. That's the London. That's the hangout. All 3 customers. There's a building there that you might like to buy. Got a lot of old buildings here, and not many people. Got a church. There's somebody living in a tiny home. The London Church of Christ and the London, Texas Post Office. But ladies and gentlemen, not many people in the United States have seen London, Texas, and you are one of the few. Y'all are one of the few, rather. So anyway, that's it. There ain't no more. That was London, Texas, guys. That's it. We're out of it now. A few little houses out here on the edge of town, but not much. So anyway, guys, I'll end the video now. I'm on my way to Junction, then to Van Horn, then to Guadalupe Mountains. I'll do a few, I might do another video today, probably just to keep me from dozing off while I'm driving. But anyway, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye, 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 USA. May when you can, drink plenty of water, 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. Take deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Relieve stress, stretch, walk, keep your health, because that way you'll enjoy this adventure with me. So anyway, guys, good luck to you. Enjoy your day. Adios.